Hello and welcome. This is Fantasy in Review. Today I'm joined here with my co-host, David.
Hello, everybody.
I was going to say they're going to know your voice.
Yeah.
DeMarcus.
What's up?
And then I'm Dominic. So, the way that this works is pretty simple. We take magic items or different places and objects and stuff like that from fantasy, such as D&D is where we'll be starting at, and we come up with fake reviews and just chat and have a good time. So, today we have the Ring of Grammarian.
Today it's a D&D special. Today might be other things in the future, but today it's D&D.
So the way the rules are going to work is pretty simple. We all come up, we will have a couple reviews each, and then as we go through the reviews, obviously, talking, laughing, the one who's the funniest at the end wins the episode, and then they get to choose the next item, place, or object that we do. I don't think we have many reviews for the first episode, but it's fine. We'll fill it in with plenty of shit talking. So,
About to say, bro, I'm the guy that showed up at the
school project.
At the school project, not knowing there was a school project. I'm the guy going, wait, what? I'm jumping into your group, going, just give me a paper. I'll wing it. Just give me the goddamn paper.
No. I was gonna say, didn't you do something like that when we were in class with 3D modeling and animation? But no, you were in a separate group. That was
Bro, I basically fucking ran that class. Like, don't be.
You were the teacher.
I was the goddamn teacher.
The teacher was an English teacher that had no idea what she was doing.
They basically looked at a tutorial once and then was like, okay, I can do this.
No, the person who jumped in on my group, it was Bubble Boy, Cody. It was Cody.
Yeah, Cody. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You came later.
I can't wait.
This is pre-work lore. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is.
Y'all
like,
was still in school.
Yeah, we were in school.
Yeah, we were.
Shit.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
He didn't go to school. No.
It's too poor. Yeah.
This is not true. This is not canon. Not canon.
This was not a canon event. I repeat, this was not a canon event. Anyways.
You shaved that beard. Stop stroking nothing.
Dude, there's no. Dude, you're like me right now. Don't. Yeah.
I'm stroking.
Oh my God.
No.
My
We don't.
soul
No,
patch.
we're not stroking nothing. Okay.
My soul patch.
I'm stroking out over here.
All right. So,
Hey,
did you
that's
guys
nice.
come up with anything beforehand?
Hey.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Then
I came up with. I'm not reviewing or.
You just want to throw out your ideas.
I have ideas for things that people may in the future, if they so choose to happen upon this in a campaign, or the DM is just like, I want to just throw chaos into my sessions from now on. So
All right.
here's the Ring of Grammarian. Grammarian.
What we'll do is I'll start by reading off my reviews. Usually we'd take turns, one review each until we ran out. And then since I'm the only one with reviews currently,
Yes.
you guys are still getting a feel for how this is working.
True.
I'm gonna go through all three of my reviews, and then obviously we could discuss them as it comes through, and then after we could talk about some of the ideas we were brainstorming before we got this together. Note, neither of these two have actually heard any of my reviews yet, so raw reactions. We'll see how this goes. All right. So, we forgot to tell them what the Ring of Grammarian does. See, this is what happens on the first video.
David, take it.
Don't worry, I got this.
Yeah.
Give me just a moment here.
David is our resident nerd.
I'm
Hey,
the DM.
no,
What
I'm
do
the-
you mean?
Okay, first of all, to both of you, no, I am not the resident nerd. I'm the resident fucking autist that really likes D&D way too much. I am not a nerd. I fucking hate most nerd shit. I just have autistic fits of, oh shit, I'm gonna hyper focus on this one thing for the next 5 months, and now it's stuck in my brain forever, and I can't get it out. It's like brain parasites.
Yes,
Alright.
it is.
Let's get a brief description of what the Ring of Grammarian is. and
Basic description is it allows you to change the effects of a spell by replacing single letters in it. Single letters in the verbiage of the words for the spell. Ring of The ring of the this is just a general description. The ring of the Grammarian can be used once per day to alter one letter in a spell title as you're casting it for a different effect. For instance, the wearer can start casting Cause Fear and activate the ring and instead cast Cause Bear. So I'm assuming the review that Dominic has brought up today.
The first review is definitely going to be of a bear.
It's a bear. Good.
Spoilers.
Good.
Teddy bear.
I'm going off of, so when I'm doing my spell list is another thing to understand here is for all future players and whatnot and DMs, this does not just affect wizard spells.
It affects all spells.
It affects all spells from all classes.
Also, what wasn't described in the description is also, it doesn't just change the effects in like a specific way. You change the grammar of the word by changing out one letter for another, and when the word changes, you speak your intent on what you want on what you want to happen from the change, and then from there, the DM's discretion is kind of what happens. So the DM chooses what happens between what you've spelled and out of your intent for it.
Like in this case, a simple one, a cleric cantrip, which is a free level 0 spell for those who don't know. Instead of Word of Radiance, which is just I speak a command word and everything within 10 or 5 feet of me, I can't remember exactly which, has to make a saving throw. Instead, it's Ward of Radiance, and I say, well, I want it to be that in a area of 10-foot squares, I point out the creatures in that area must make a saving throw or they take radiant damage. And the DM goes, okay.
And then
Instead
the DM can choose whatever they want, meaning they can have a completely different effect as long as it's within reason of the intent and the word.
Yeah, as long as it is within reason and within the intent of the verbiage that and explanation that the player gives to the DM.
Which means
or,
that something completely different can happen.
Also, so that everybody understands, DM can also be called GM, because some people don't call it Dungeon Master. It's also called a Game Master for those that might be playing in other games.
Yeah.
So you're like, what's a DM? I've only heard of GM. That's what it means.
DM is just specific to mostly Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Basically, if it's a dungeon crawling pseudo game, DM. But
so, yeah, I did not know that though.
You didn't?
No.
You never heard of... Yeah.
I heard of GM and
a lot
DM.
More, like when we talked to Elijah, he kept calling himself I'm the GM. I'm like, what the fuck's a GM?
He kept switching.
But he realized that we kept calling him DM. He's like, what the fuck? Huh? That was one of my favorite. Anyways.
All right. So we'll jump into the first review. So, you know what? I could explain more after. It'll make sense. Especially, I think you two might actually like it. So this one's simple, kind of just to get the idea. So I bought this ring, right? And it's supposed to change how the spell works depending on what you want. So I decided to surprise my friends while we were out drinking. I used the spell Fear, expecting to get beer, but instead it summoned a drunken bear. A frickin' bear! This ring clearly isn't working right. Now none of my friends will speak to me.
Oh,
that's actually brilliant
and terrifying,
dude. I am so glad he's our DM because, like,
I'm not.
No, that's creative. Yeah. Oh, it's a problem. We have to fight a bear now, but that's fun.
Your mic went way fucking loud.
Yeah, you go.
I'm sorry. I just went high.
I'm causing a problem because I'm making him do this when he's.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but that's brilliant. Spawning a bear that's just literally going spawn, like Gmod spawning a drunk bear into a bar. That's brilliant.
His intent was to get beer out of it.
Also, have you
it's
not
a spelling mistake?
Have you not seen a bear that's like eating like fermented berries and shit, and it's just like that's fucking hilarious.
The scary part is for me, who
you watched Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
Well,
fuck you.
If you forgot what beer does versus cocaine, I'm pretty sure I would rather fight a drunk bear than a bear on cocaine.
And
the only problem is the bear won't feel anything on beer, but it also isn't like super fast. It's like half speed and completely tipsy, going.
Have you seen a drunken master bear?
I was gonna say, what if it's a drunken master?
Okay, that, and if you're actually doing that, then that's not you being funny. That's you going, oh, I'm gonna make you fight a class leveled creature that should not be able to class level.
It's fine. It's fine. There's no bear like that in
Exactly.
Dungeons and Dragons. But in Starfinder,
How about this?
First of all, that's an enlightened bear, and that's an abomination.
Look, as a drunken boxer bear, you can go unarmed. Was it monk?
Yeah, that drunken master is a subclass for the monk.
With a druid.
oh, multi-class into druid, so you can transform
it's a
into
moon.
the bear.
So that's a path of the moon. That's a path of the moon druid that also.
Drunken master druid that transforms into a bear
fucking
and comes
bear.
and fights people.
It's a black. And what's funny is like if you're not even a druid that's like a moon druid, which makes it easier to transform, and you just take like what
Can't you do
Dylan
a
did.
bear at like 5th level?
You could do a bear at like 4th level if you're not.
Jesus.
But the thing is, it's a black bear. It's
Yeah.
not a brown bear because there's two bears.
Yeah,
There's black bear, Arctic bear, and cave bear. Arctic bear and cave bear are higher CR, and you would need to be a moon. However, being a regular old black bear, however, by doing that, you're also adding its dex, its natural AC. So here's the thing I hate about like. I'm getting into tangents. Look
Yes,
at me
you
being
are.
autistic.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah.
right now.
Let's look at that. I caught myself.
Yeah.
I'm getting better about it.
You are.
Yeah.
But
Alright.
that'd be a
But
weird.
That
There's
would
a-
be fun. I can't say it would be super effective.
oh no
but it would
no. You
definitely
don't
be
understand.
fun.
That's super effective because that bear's HP, its health, is free health. That's also technically just free temp HP. You could just keep
It would
spawning.
literally be a tank monk.
Yeah.
That'd be a super tank monk. It's go. Oh, I can just give myself free HP every fucking time I take damage. Whoa. It's basically putting a middle finger to you,
I
going,
was gonna say
you can't kill
they
me.
can't see the middle finger when you just flip us off.
Yeah. It's like,
But see,
anyways.
drunken bear.
But
Alright.
if it's just a regular old bear that's drunk, technically has disadvantage on everything, and who cares? It's a bear that's drunk.
And obviously,
The rogue stabs it 3 times while the barbarian tanks. Done. The end.
obviously in that last review, like if there's a spelling error when you use the ring, the DM has all rights to just go with it and get something completely different out of it.
Yeah.
Hence,
So
the
I'm fucked.
intention was liquor, but the spelling was bear, so then you got a drunk bear. So it's an easy way to warp it in the slippery slope. So make sure you think it out before you do something crazy.
Yeah, it's like that one time I was saying like ward of
Yeah.
was ward of something,
Yeah.
and you were like, I was thinking like, oh, it's an AOE like thing, and you're like, no, you summon a like a psych ward
Yeah.
and strap people up. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking
and
about
I'm
that.
like,
earlier.
yeah.
What were you going to say?
I lost track.
Yeah, you lost. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next review. Now, this one is going to be hilarious because no one's going to be expecting it. When I say I'm proud of how creative this was, I fucking love it. So I'm laughing just thinking about it. All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
This ring really saved my life. I was at a barbecue, right? And we were just hanging out drinking mead and eating bratwurst. Suddenly, unprovoked, bandits tried to join in, and we didn't have our equipment. So I panicked. I called out the first thing I could think of, and with a bratwurst in hand, I cast Swordwurst. Suddenly our bratwurst expanded into swords, and we beat the bandits down with meaty justice. Best part is, we got to continue the barbecue.
Buzzing happening. I don't know where it is. However, that's brilliant. Meat swords, bro. What I'm imagining
It's
is they
off
actually.
the cantrip, sword burst, and
It's
I
sword
double
burst.
checked the spelling. I was like, wait, can this be what I think it is?
Sword burst.
And
yeah.
it was literally, yep, sword burst. So it's just a bunch of bratwurst swords.
Magical.
Sword of bratwurst.
Sword bratwurst.
And beat somebody with meat.
I think my favorite's the meaty justice.
That's some meaty people. They need some meat.
Yeah.
Was it all male bandits or all female bandits?
Who's to say? Alright, this last one's just fucking nasty. Because I was debating on whether or not I should do this, because I thought it was hilarious, but I was like, I want to think of something more creative. But In the end, we cut short on time because I've been busy.
Is this gonna get us in trouble?
It's not going to get us in trouble.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you 100% sure?
100%.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for
Look,
it then.
we already cussed and everything. The podcast has to be.
There's a
level 6
difference
explicit and
between
everything.
cursing and saying things that can make a lot of people very upset.
This world is upset.
It's just vague. You'll understand.
Okay.
You're ready.
Send it.
Let us follow the path down interpretation of your words.
All right.
Oh God.
I'm on the edge of my seat, waiting.
I've made a mistake.
Yes, you have.
We were fighting a dragon. We were out of everything, but the dragon was looking pretty rough. I was confident we were on the edge of victory. I got desperate and used the ring. I cast Bust on the dragon, hoping it would finish it. We were not expecting the results. After an awkward silence, we finished our fight with the dragon. We still haven't gotten the stains out.
Wrong bus. Wrong bus. Wrong bus.
Bro, imagine you're like just imagine you're okay for a moment. So close your eyes for a moment.
Oh no.
Imagine you are a giant, like several 1,000-pound flying alien lizard. You've existed for the past like 5,000 years. Just keep imagining. Don't. You might be a white dragon, red dragon, doesn't matter. You're just minding your own business. You're on your hoard of gold or pictures or corpses, whatever. Minding your own business, and a bunch of freaking morons just bust into your freaking house, and you're like, oh, cool, free food. And they start fighting you, and they're like, oh shit, Meal's putting up a fight, and all of a sudden one of the creatures goes, "Buh!" and says something you're not quite sure what it was, and all of a sudden you just ejaculate all over the fucking place to the point that your knees buckle. Like just I'm gonna, and you just fucking blow a load that you haven't done in probably 3,000 years. No. No, because the mating season of dragons is so like rare because they have to find a mate. But imagine that just stored up bust, and it's just to the point that it's just like, holy shit! Just like I'm gonna, just like
imagine
knee buckling.
You're feeling rough, you're beat up, you see an entire party of people beat up in front of you, and then mid-fight, you're about to just bite at them, and then all of a sudden, oh!
No, you don't understand.
Now
the
your future snack is covered.
The problem is, the most common tactic that everybody uses, and I don't know where this lore came from, is that dragons have the soft underbelly. So you gotta remember, barbarians are stupid, and they probably would have heard this rumor and go, I'm going to start charging at its belly, at its soft underbelly. And the barbarian charges up, goes to swing, and gets a face full of dragon cum. Just fucking in your mouth full, too, because they're screaming.
No. All right,
yeah, no.
That's enough.
You did this. Don't look me in the
open Pandora box.
You look me in the eyes. You did this. You came and you made that dragon cum in that barbarian's mouth. You did this. It happened.
Anyway.
No, there is no anyway.
This
is happening. This is happening. And now imagine you're like, just earth-shattering cum you just had happen, and these freaking things are still like, everybody's just stunned. Your knees are weak, arms are heavy. Fucking.
To think about it this way, say this was a red dragon who breathed fire. You just used the oldest Spartan tactic in the book. You coach your shields, and now they're fire resistant.
Bro, that is not fire resistant. That might actually be flammable.
No,
or it could be straight up acid.
100%. That's a history lesson. They used to relieve themselves on their shields to prevent their shields from igniting from fire arrows.
Bro, that is human semen you're talking about. This is a dragon. This is a dragon.
Since it came from a red dragon, it's spicy.
It's spicy.
Like a spicy meatball.
Like I just said, it's probably flammable. I'm just saying.
That's why
I don't know. I don't want to know, but it's most likely flammable.
That's why I said it might be acid.
Look, the other side of it.
If it was an acid dragon, yeah, bro, that's an acid dragon, bro. You getting a face full of acid cum. That's rough. That's rough. That's something you ain't get. That's
the other side of this too is the fact of another benefit. Dragons are extremely intelligent.
Says who?
This dragon might be
They
self-conscious
are.
enough that where he's not using his bite attack anymore.
No, he's not. That still doesn't mean you can't use a breath attack. Also, yeah, they are dragons are extreme, like hyper intelligent. There is a
Yes.
reason why Dungeons and
Elder
Dragons.
dragon.
No,
no, dragons in general,
no.
like they're smart
Dude,
creatures.
even down to a wormling, like a little guy, has like the intelligence of like a fully grown adult. They're a fully grown, like a little wormling, like little dragon,
Yeah.
has the intelligence of like an adult. They're not like an adult human being. They're not stupid. They're actually hyper intelligent, and it only gets scarier. You need to understand.
Dragons
when
are like just these beings that have been around. They're their own race. Like the Dragonborn is the closest thing to them, but dragons are literally the like same intelligence as like Dragonborn stuff like that. Only they live for ages and ages, and then on top of that, like they're just rare because they're powerful enough that they don't need to be like how rabbits don't live but a couple years, but they procreate and have a bunch of babies. Same with dogs and
Oh
stuff.
no, dragons do that too. That's only if they can get with a mate for long enough to produce enough eggs. That's not like, oh, they don't do it. No, they could seriously like in can just like take over the world if like enough of them got into basically a giant dragon orgy and hid away. They could just like spawn, like auto spawn like a billion of them and take over.
So what is that movie about the the
Oh,
Ring of Fire?
Rain of Fire.
Yeah, Rain of Fire.
Bro, that is one of my that is one of my favorite movies of all time, and one of my also favorite things about dragons because it.
What's that movie? I fucking love this movie. What's that movie where the guy shares a heart with the dragon? It's like the
Aragon.
last dragon.
Aragon, yeah.
It's not the
No,
last
no, no,
dragon.
no, 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 not Aragon. The one where the guy actually shares a heart with the dragon.
Oh, that's an older movie.
Yes.
Real old. Oh shit.
Aragon's the one where he
Dragonheart.
finds
Yeah,
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart.
Yes.
Literally in the
With-
name.
I fucking love that
With
movie.
Sean Connery.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro, that was what it's.
It was
It's
such
also,
a good
bro.
movie, dude.
They don't
And
do shit
yeah,
like that
I
no
think
more.
that's what.
They don't do shit like no. Dragonheart, Aragon, and Rain of Fire. Bro, the first time I watched that movie, I was sitting with my dad while we were watching it on the TV. That was some of the coolest shit I saw when I was like 7 or 8. My brain had dragons on it for years because of the fucking one scene of the guy. Granted, it's also very realistic of the guy leaping with a battle axe off the top
definitely.
rung of fucking Big Ben onto a
Yeah.
fucking dragon's face and immediately dying. I'm like, my child. Granted, it also crushed like every dream in my child brain and heart of like I can fight. Oh,
No.
that's what's happening.
No.
That's
No.
yeah, and then it took me a while to go. No, yeah, that would probably happen. That's not a good
Hey.
idea. But dude, it was dope up until that point.
That's where that jump came from in our.
Oh. So for those of you who won't know, which is all of you, in our D&D campaign,
This little midget.
By the
would
way,
you like to describe your character for the
Oh.
listeners?
I'm 105 years old. Gnome, 3'6" with it. I'm a fighter with a arcane
Arcane Archer.
So basically, like Dragon's Dharma.
So, for those of you who don't know, Arcane Archer is not like I'm a wizard that shoots arrows. It's that you have been
You're an
given
archer that has very specific sets of like
and
Magic
there's like
arrows.
two ways you go about that, which I really don't like how the book does it. Is you
I
can
don't
either
either. It feels a little.
it's essentially you
disappointing.
choose two ways of going about it. It's either arcane magic through like wizardry and knowledge, or sylvanic knowledge through like nature, like an
Yeah.
elf. That's
Yeah.
that's the two ways you can get it. It's like
And I'm going more wizard wise.
but you can't change the spell casting ability modifier for it from wisdom. It's only wisdom, and that's why I was kind of hoping he could talk to you about changing that to intelligence, because it should be. If you are choosing arcane, you should be forced to do intelligence. If you are doing sylvanic, elvish wisdom,
But anyway,
it should be your
that's outside
modifier.
of this. But essentially, they were fighting. It was the troll and the owlbear, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 'Cause
the troll and his pet fat owlbear.
yes.
A
Imagine like a big floppy faced bulldog, but it's an owlbear. And in the massive troll in his cabin. Well, this short stack of gnome was
On the
on
roof.
top of the cabin's roof, saw the chaos ensuing below where the rest of her party was frantically fighting for their lives and dove off of the roof and carved into the back of this troll, and then promptly blew herself up to light this troll on fire.
Yes.
I'd also like to state here that was the dumbest fucking choice you could have possibly made. But I'm glad you made it because it was great and something we can remember.
If Sana had not done that, half the party would have been dead.
Yes, they could have done a lot of other things. Hell, they could have just like thrown the bottle at its back and covered it in alcohol. Point is though, you got very lucky because you have low strength and jump distance and the ability to jump is completely based off of your strength. This is also why I want you to play Baldur's Gate, Dominic, because the goddamn system for jumping is very shown like how effective and like ineffective jumping is. It also made me really happy that I have high strength as a dwarf because I can jump stupid far. Also, Guna, who by the way is the character of my lovely wife, is a furbolg barbarian, female barbarian.
I'm throwing it.
She could probably jump in game at least like 24 feet, which by the way is like
insane.
A creature. That's like a creature jumping, not a person.
She was raised by wolves and practically
but
is a creature.
At the same time, I wasn't really worried about jumping distance. I was worried about
landing.
It
would have been the moment of, all right, buddy, aim for the bushes and go, there goes my hero, as you hit the pavement instead of hitting the target.
Well,
sorry, but bro,
granted, I understand.
Gravity still exists. I know it's fantasy. I know it's magic.
So basically, I was
Gravity
doing the Matrix type, jump from the roof type thing. For me, I want to focus on landing on not the distance.
To be fair, it shouldn't have worked and somehow managed to just scrape by working.
Because RNG is blessed your rolls. That is why you have that happened.
Yeah, bless my rolls and blew up 3 of my fingers.
All right, last thing off topic, and then we'll go back to topic.
Okay.
Speaking of God rolls by the character of Zana, by DeMarcus's character, my goodness, they went and Zana was only supposed to scout out a camp. By the time it was over, the smell of death was in the air, both magically and physically. And there were people strung up by arrows and vines, and just half the guard towers were emptied of people, and everyone was terrified and screaming, to the point to where Zana tortured these people for 2 nights. The point to where when the attack finally happened, these people were practically feral.
I want you to understand what his character did was basically equivalent to like every scene from Rambo where he has a bow and he hunts the bad guys. Basically that, but more visceral and imagine
psychological warfare.
And that was psychological warfare because being armed to the teeth with real weapons and dying to a bow is bullshit and psychological to you because you realize you're not being outclassed by.
You've been outsmarted.
You're not being outclassed by equipment or power. You're being outsmarted and out-tacticaled. That's more terrifying because you're knowing you're fighting something that's hyper intelligent.
They were in a fortress, and the fortress got quickly turned into a prison.
Yes, prison. You are in my town.
You turned to quote Warhammer 40k, their bunker shall become their tomb. Like literally,
that is true.
You literally turned their fortress of solitude into their tomb.
The only NPCs that were in that fort when you guys started it, there was only one that made it out of the fort, and he was dragged out.
Yeah, that's right, and tied to the tree.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, because we also kind of forgot about him, and then we're like, oh yeah, this is out here. So you find, anyways.
Yeah. That was Doran's character.
I do, however, love that the only character that really stood a chance against you was the fucking mage. That was like, I'm gonna cast light and just try to find them in the darkness, and then they almost did, and then you shot them in the shoulder, and then chased them with a magic arrow, which I'm like, that's brilliant. That's mad, and that also should go to show
tracking arrow, wonderful thing.
Also, that should also
not
go
tracking, seeking arrow.
Seeking arrow, my bad.
That should also go to show you that even if you're fighting like a horde of dipshits with crossbows, the fucking person who can cast spells can fuck you up in 2 seconds.
I know.
Yeah. Also, that same character that Zana thought she killed,
just gadded you with like
gadded my character.
magic missiles.
So my character Mjolnir Thunderbeard is a dwarf cleric with he's a soldier background is a soldier, served in a corporate war served in a corporate war between more of a clan war, but however you want to call it, between his clan, the Thunderbeards, and a rival clan, the I'll let
I
you
was
go.
gonna say try and keep it a little bit brief so we can get back to the
Yeah,
topic.
my bad. But
The soldier is a beast, a tank, heavy armor and everything, and was
He's a walking
single-handedly
Abrams.
blasted fucking a million times by magic missile, which by the way is bullshit but also really good.
each missile is an independent attack, but they auto hit no matter what. Meaning he was hit by each one, and it counts as a separate attack each, and dropped him like a sack of potatoes by the time he got hit with the second one.
Yeah, you hit me with level 2 or 3.
It was level 3.
Oh yeah, yeah, thank you. 2 level 3 magic missiles is like basically saying I'm killing your character as fast as possible with as little difficulty as possible.
Just gatted you.
It's also really fucked up when you're fighting anything. It's
Luckily, you had an NPC on your side that climbed up there and choked
him out, which
Literally
was hilarious.
choked him out.
I know that was hilarious. I spent the rest of that entire match like on the ground bleeding out. That was fucked. Rest of that entire
To be fair,
fight.
you had both of the bosses targeting you.
No, yeah, I was doing my job as the tank. The problem is I also wasn't doing my job as a tank by absorbing the damage. I instead
You were dissing out the damage.
I was. I hit I also charged into a group of them and went Thunder Wave and killed like 9 enemy NPCs.
Anyway, back to the reign of Grammarian. You guys, since you didn't have reviews, let's go over some of the ideas you guys came up with.
Oh.
Hold on.
You go.
No, you go.
No, you go.
It's whoever pulls it up first.
I'm thinking about that.
We already had a list. We were brainstorming for like an hour before this.
Oh, an hour is a day ago.
New one.
Oh no.
So this could also be something for future players. Say you're talking quiet so it's not loud. Let me get close to the audience.
You want to get close to you?
Closer. Anyways,
Welcome
for
to
the
the ASMR section.
so say you're in a more of a stealthy situation and you can cast spell Vampiric Touch without being alerting anybody that you're casting a spell. If you have the Ring of the Grammarian, you can then instead change it to Vampiric Couch.
Ow!
You just set that up in like a
the
hotel.
moment
Everyone that sits down is just
you're in an investigational like setting, say like, oh, it's a murder mystery and you're trying to find out maybe you're the murderer and the other players don't realize it yet, but they
what's that, like Dexter or whatever,
Yeah.
where he's like a murderer but he's also like the investigator.
Yeah, exactly. And so somebody's sitting down on the couch, you just cast Vampiric Couch. Maybe you're like, I want the couch. You say, oh, I want the couch to attack the player and like drain them of their life force. So can I just have it Vampiric Touch but through the couch? And the DM goes, okay, I'll do you one better, and instead turns the couch into a mimic.
How I was thinking about it as being like going to
So this is one thing you also need to know, players out there that are using this. This is a mind game tool that you need to use with and against your DM. Looking you in the eyes for this, so you understand this.
Sadly, the more your DM hates it, the better the idea.
Yeah. No. You need to know them so that when I go Vampiric Couch, their first thing they're going to think of, oh, it's just a mimic. So they're going to turn it into a mimic. Done. You want them, you're thinking, I want to do this, but you know they're going to do Vampiric, they're going to turn it into a couch. That's just a mimic. You just say that. And they'll do it for you. You have to mind game them into thinking adjacent to what you're thinking.
Unless they just go with it because they like the idea.
Yeah, that's true. But that's without saying it as the mimic. Alright, what you got?
What was it? Plant growth. The one I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So plant growth is basically as a level 3 transmission, casting time 0 is a special 150 feet, instantaneous. So basically I was going to say, instead of plant growth, plans growth. PLANS. So I write basically draw a fort on a piece of parchment or paper, and I say plant grow. It grows, say, a fortress from
Just the blueprint.
into a literally fortress.
That is brilliant.
But
Thank
not
you.
fire resistant.
But
Hey,
however,
no.
now
All I
you
need
no
is
no
some
no
weed
no
killer.
no you don't understand though.
But
I love this idea. You need to understand though. If I were the DM, I'd say yes, it does. And what happens is a diorama of your fortress appears through your blueprint, and it's perfect, like every
No.
detailed design,
No.
and it's only the size of the paper.
no, it's
No, I was
area
thinking.
150
I was
feet.
thinking it starts to grow, but it's like a hedge maze that's literally just an outline of what you drew.
That's actually better. Just to spit,
That is
and it's 150 feet wide.
yeah.
Just
Oh
to,
my
just to
God.
piss them off.
It appears around you, so you're in the middle of it, and you have to find your way out. And your
But
whole
hey.
party's split up now, and they're just like,
Oh,
But hey, you have your
now,
blueprint.
or how about this? I'm do the same thing, but draw a maze. Is it okay? Basically plant growth. So I grow a maze with me in it, of plants, and still a maze.
I mean,
But
yeah,
I
with
know the
you
way
in
out.
it, how? Oh, because you drew the plans.
Yes.
Okay. It's good if you're surrounded,
Yeah,
but like I said, you'd also split the party very quickly.
but at the same time, if
This is turning into Maze Runner real quick.
and just like Maze Runner,
Don't worry, I'll change it. I found the one. By the way, I found the spell I was talking about, but we'll get to that.
So let's get back to him.
but at the same time, with all norm plants within 100 feet of this essential radius get what become overgrown, and thick. So people got what
Difficult terrain,
yeah,
which is for every foot that you move. It's the dumbest overcomplicated wording possible. For every foot of movement that you make, you double it. So instead of walking 5 feet, you're walking 10 feet in 5 feet. What they should have said is
Essentially, it just costs double movement.
it costs double movement to move. What they should have said is your movement is reduced by half in this area. But then it also... Ugh.
Well, it can also get into flavor, too. The fact of there's certain instances where, depending on how your playstyle is and how serious you're taking it, a simple step to turn around counts as a foot of movement.
yeah,
Exactly, but that's also for psychos.
like me.
Once again, it depends on your playstyle and what you enjoy.
Yeah,
So
that's also a thing of like DMs were like, oh well, you're turning around.
It
That
has
costs
to be-
movement. It's like
it has to be phrased in a way that, because the D&D books and the rules set to it are nothing more than a
Outline.
guidance. It's an outline.
guidelines
Yeah.
to follow if
And
you
break.
need
To build your game around those
Yeah.
guidelines. It's like saying when you mod a game like Fallout 4 and you have certain things you turn on and off.
Yes,
It's
but
simple.
but the other thing is they're also rules.
Yes.
But it's also rules in that like everybody will say, well, there's rules that are meant to be broken. I'm like, yes, but there's also laws, like gravity,
Well,
the law of gravity.
it can be bent, not broken.
Yes. Especially the DM has the power.
Yeah.
Yes,
The DM's playstyle, the DM's ideas, the DM controls. The DM is the god of the universe.
yes, but
After a
in the
certain
god
point,
of
yes,
this
it
universe,
gets ridiculous, but it also D&D is a focus on
however,
enjoyment.
D&D, even gods have rules in D&D.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But anyway,
The reason why rules exist is to make it fair.
Continuing.
but instead of having the spell enrich basically the area around it, it's basically suck all nutrients from the area around it.
You're pulling basically nature away from
And-
nature to create.
No, I'm pulling.
Nature.
No, instead basically I would do a double cast spell with this.
You're doing a raw, like the raw materials equivalent of
Oh.
fabricate.
Yeah.
This is just I realize what you're saying.
It's creating the
You're
fabricate
basically
spell and all.
instead of being like how fabricate works, where it's like, oh well, I have the raw boards and stones and plaster to make a house. You just go, I cast this spell, and now I just rip the
You rip the actual matter from everything
thing
around
and
to
warp-
build something else.
You just
Yeah.
trees auto rip and shave themselves down to the boards to fit. The dirt and stone comes up and cuts and molds itself to the shapes of the boards and
to
everything.
get how any of this could even happen, it's also the fact of one, like I said, DM discretion on how crazy you want to allow it to be, and two, the ring altering spells. Spells work like almost like magic has laws, and then there's this thing called wild magic where it goes screw
Crazy.
the laws. There's no consistently.
Yeah.
Random things can happen, and the ring essentially turns any normal magic into wild magic, meaning the results are just whatever they want to be.
But the second part of the spell is basically anybody in there will take poison damage and piercing damage as they walk
To
by
be
the
fair,
wall.
if it's draining anything, then that
It could be
would
yeah.
yeah.
So
Necrotic damage, yeah. Alright, back to you, David. What do you got?
All right.
You said you found the one you wanted to talk
I
about.
found the one that made both of you die of laughter.
Oh, no.
oh god.
How bad is it?
So there is a spell that can be used by clerics and can be used by wizards, but I was reading through the cleric spell list trying to find it, which is where I found it. The spell Modify Memory.
Oh god.
Oh,
Can be-
God!
The spell Modify Memory can be used to modify the memory of a creature up to 10 minutes worth of time. In this instance of what I'm changing it to, by changing the spelling, it is Modify Memory, which would allow me to change the cup size of the creature I'm pointing at up to 10 cup sizes in either direction. So take that with whatever you mean. I don't really fully understand cup sizes. I just know boobs are awesome. Boobs are awesome. Don't care. Don't care. Didn't ask. Fuck you. Boobs are awesome. Everybody knows that. Anybody who doesn't know that is either a child going ew boobs or a freak that goes oh boobs.
Whoa.
Ugh.
People have tastes in men.
Men don't have
Yeah,
boobs. They got chests.
With this ring, they can.
Exactly. Also, men do have boobs. They're just flat. Or in my case, I'm fat and I have man boobs. Yeah, I know what I am. I'm fat. I got man boobs. But all creatures have boobs. They're just either flat or huge.
Well,
No.
creatures.
Not all creatures, but
most
you know what
creatures have.
However, with this spell, all creatures can have boobs.
And
Let be that as
what's
it
the
may.
second part of that spell that you did they can milk anything?
Oh
That
no!
was that was a different spell. No,
Oh,
that was a
God.
different spell. What was that? What was that?
It was the like forced lactation or whatever. I don't think that one actually worked. I think that one was a joke for if we could add or take away a letter.
Oh yeah.
But no. Yeah, I just thought of that as like, or maybe your character just doesn't like the size of their boobs, and you can just go modify memory. Oh shit, I go from like a fucking A or a B cup. Oh shit, I got literally triple D's in this bitch. Look
Well,
at this shit.
that's a backbreaking.
Or a breast reduction.
Or a breast.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I started this character with like quadruple D, like G cups. I can't walk without knocking over shit. Okay, back down. I'm back down to like a B or D, or like a D, just a D. I'm at a D. I'm at a comfy D.
Okay. Well, I got another one.
Wow, you over here?
We're just gonna skip.
Am I
We're just,
making
no,
a-
move on.
Nope.
Am I making you uncomfortable talking about
No, we're moving on.
We're moving on.
Tiggle
Oh,
bitties,
moving on. Tickle billies.
ham hawkers,
Oh.
knockers?
Okay. Well, this one is called Afterlife Shell.
just the gas.
No, not Afterlife, but Anti-Life Shell. I'm sorry.
Oh, the anti-life well.
No,
No?
Nope.
Anti-Live.
Wait,
Base.
isn't that the same as anti-life?
No.
No, anti-life is like an absence of like
Yeah.
living creatures, which also that's really dumb because technically grass is like living. So if you walk forward, the grass
Well,
is
it doesn't
there.
specify creatures.
Uh,
Exactly.
That is a good
remaining
question.
creature on you and heading out the creature. So yeah,
Yeah, specifies creatures. So plant
but
life is fine unless it's alive. In a matter of creature-wise, when it wants to eat you.
but how I was gonna say it, anybody basically within the area just dies, straight up dies, just straight up dies.
They just dissolve.
Yeah,
Necrotic energy just.
and but for this one, it doesn't stop nobody coming in or out. So basically, if you start walking, basically
Waka 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 waka.
basically anybody within 10 feet of you just straight up dies, just get snapped out of existence.
I feel like that's a little powerful for that spell level. Well,
Oh,
oh no, I gotta bring back the one I love. So instead of power word kill at 9th level spell, we do power word Bill, and just Bill
Bill
Nye
9.
comes rustling out of the background the size of freaking King Kong and just clotheslines a dragon.
Bill,
Just
Bill.
You just cast power word Bill, and then all of a sudden in the distance the birds spread, soaring over the distance as you just suddenly hear in the background, Bill, 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 Bill,
Nye.
Bill Nye the Science Guy, and then they clothesline the fucking dragon.
Yeah.
He's just screaming wildly like a barbarian.
That's about
Another example of this ring is there's Crown of Madness. We had a party member before I was a DM.
The great folly of my wife and her
Where-
poor choices.
She decided to change it to Clown of Madness, and it summoned an eldritch being that was a clown. Essentially, the best way to put it is what? Just it.
It's a Pennywise from
Just-
It.
And it just immediately invoked fear on everyone around it. And my character was the only one who didn't make the save, and was forever scarred with a terrifying fear of clowns. And then it proceeded to chase the bandits, I think they were bandits, through the woods, and
Into their town of.
we heard plenty of screams and everything from the bandits. We were all in the woods. And then after that, we just theorized, because it spawned it, and there was no time limit, so that we just unleashed that onto the world and left it there. So it ran off chasing these bandits and proceeded to keep going.
She unleashed a extraplanar pseudo god,
Deity.
like a deity. Yeah, she released a extraterrestrial, essentially space demon.
Yeah, it wasn't on anybody's side. We're lucky.
No,
we
this
got
was
away.
this is a chaotic neutral. No,
it was evil.
neutral evil.
Yeah.
Neutral evil. Thank
It
you.
wasn't against us directly, but it definitely wasn't on our side.
If DeMarcus doesn't have one, I remembered this one. Me and DeMarcus know about this. You didn't. I thought it was pretty funny. Conjure Volley, which is a ranger spell. A ranger. You're gonna probably either hate me or love me for this because it's stupid. Conjure Volley is a spell where essentially you would either shoot a bow or a crossbow or a hand crossbow or a gun even, because those exist now, muskets, whatever. And it would take the ammunition or weapon you throw and shoot a shit ton of it like an enemy in a huge 60-foot cone. I instead changed it to Conjure Holly.
Just.
I'm summoning your mother.
Oh!
I'm gonna look. If I did this, I would look at you in the eyes. I would look you in the eyes and I'd say, "Call your fucking mom right now. Call her right now. I don't care if it's like 6 o'clock at night or in the morning. Call your mom. I conjured Holly. I want her on the phone so she can yell at you for the next 5 minutes over stupid bullshit because I made you call her. Do it. I want this. This is no
DM
longer
takes D10
this
psychological damage.
damage from calling his mother at 6 a.m. over a fucking D&D game. Yeah, this is where the game starts progressing outside of its contained reality. In my imagination, I am bringing it to the real world.
4D chest is now in existence.
Okay.
Fifth dimensional. Thank you.
From the one I did earlier was see invisible. No, be invisible. Where you summon bees.
The
Invisible bees.
You take psychic damage every time they sting you. You're the only one who can see them.
And that will work good with a swarm keeper. For real.
Invisible bees. It's just
Bro, that's bullshit. A swarm of invisible bees that are a beast. Also, if they're invisible and they, technically speaking,
it would be a swarm.
no,
Doing
no, no, no,
constant
no, no,
damage.
no, no. The other thing about invisibility, there's like invisibility, unless it is considered greater invisibility, which is a very high level spell, would immediately drop after they attack, and then you have to wait till the end of their turn and then revert back to invisibility, unless
But that
it's
also
like an
depends
ability.
on, since the spell's not working like normal, and the bees were summoned while being
Yes.
invisible. They were by nature they are invisible
The other thing
by
is
nature of
though,
the spell. But
this
that
will
also
be
depends on DM.
that yeah.
That's a level
This is
2
also
though.
where I would apply. Well, invisibility is level 1 spell, bro.
Yeah.
Also,
No, it's level 2,
greater invisibility is level 5.
but it lasts for 1 hour though.
Oh, by the way,
Okay.
on the what was it called? Conjure Volley.
Yeah.
My take on that was Conjure Folly, and you just literally conjure bad luck on someone.
So it's
Yeah.
a curse. It's a bestow curse, but it's like
Exactly.
bloodline level.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So then for like the whole day, it's just nothing but bad luck. Have you seen the episode of Supernatural where like they find the rabbit's foot?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
I've never gotten around to watch that goddamn show.
Where
I've
like
tried
one
getting
picture
into
is
it.
the foot,
But-
and it's horrible. Fucking everything. Yeah,
I-
exactly what I'm thinking.
I've wanted to get into that freaking show, but I just like every time I get into it, I'm like,
It's
this
a
is an
lot.
old show. It is hot ass. It just everything about it's like so low quality at first season. I'm just like, ugh. But
It's-
I want to get into it because it's fun, and I know it's fun.
That's the whole point of it.
It's
fun.
just a really slow burn for me. But I also have another one that he got to hear, but you didn't. So there is a spell called Steel Wind Strike, which is a ranger wizard spell. It's stupid. It's basically anime the spell. You flourish the weapon used in the casting and then vanish to strike like the wind. Choose up to 5 creatures you can see within range. Make a melee spell attack against each target. On a hit, a target takes 6d10 force damage. You can then teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 5 meters of one of the targets you hit or missed.
So blink strike.
It's literally just Omae wa mo Shinderu. Shing, and then you teleport,
Yeah.
and then suddenly the blade is out, and all these guys' heads fall off, and you're behind the guy that was looking at you 10 seconds ago, or 6 seconds ago, and his head falls off as well. I instead of Steel Wind Strike, which is Steel Wind Strike, I instead chose Steel Wind Strike, Steal.
Oh.
So the weapon has to specifically be a bludgeoning weapon, and the idea is the same logic, except it's one target who takes 6d12, has to make a con save, or I pull the wind out of it. Oh, no, it wasn't even damage. It was just I said,
Basically, they go unconscious.
they need to make a con save because I slammed them so hard in the stomach, I knock all of the wind out of them, and they need to make a con save or they fall unconscious.
See, I was thinking when you said steel, I was thinking of it's the same effect, right? As the normal spell, but the difference is instead of doing damage, you just steal everything from them in the blink of an eye, and they have no idea.
Okay.
So it's just immediate. You just dash through, and then all of a sudden you've robbed the entire like courtyard.
That's honestly, I like that too. But my logic was like I'm stealing the wind out of your fucking lungs with this one either punch. It's also the thing is this can as long as you're doing bludgeoning damage with whatever you're doing.
Falcon punch.
Oh, Falcon Punch. This is like what's that's the meme? Like it's a consistent trope in like a lot of like movies and anime of where the guy like, I can do it. Trust me, dude. I can do it. And it's like, yeah, you can do, but bud, don't worry, you can. And then the guy gut punches the character to the point that it knocks them unconscious. And like, all right, take this guy away. He's an idiot. Anyways, I'm about to go die. It's just that. It does no damage and just knocks them unconscious. That's where you could use it. It's like you're in the party and you're about to go into a bad place, and like this character or other player is like being an idiot.
Or you're strapped up and you're gonna be like Vegeta
Yeah.
and just nuke yourself, and you're like, all right, time to go to sleep. Bow! And
Yeah,
then he's
yeah,
just
there's
like,
just
here,
like, bro,
take this dumb fuck away.
Brother, I can die with you. Please let me honor this. I will let you honor this. Poof. Take my brother out of here. All right. Hey, idiot, I'm ready to die. How about you? Whee! Followed by, and suddenly you're the hero that killed himself. The end.
How I would say you can basically do the same way with a steel strike with 5 people, but like you said,
Just gut punch them all.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be like a one target thing because I feel like it's being able to hit. See, you need to understand with D&D and how that works. Saying I can hit 5 targets within 30 feet of me as melee attacks is stupid, and then saying each one of those is 6d10. My guy, that is a 1 in 20 chance I could crit them.
Okay.
And suddenly I'm doing 12d10, and if you take the ruling of our table as the homebrew rule of if you crit, you do max damage because a lot of people get butt hurt when you go, I rolled a crit, and suddenly you're rolling 4d6, and you roll 1s on all 4 6s.
Yeah.
Then you roll regular damage, and you roll 2 6s, and suddenly you did like double the damage of crit.
Yeah.
That's insane. Going, I'm doing 120 damage on 1 melee attack. And that's a 5th level.
All I have to say,
That's a
Cold
5th.
War.
Oh,
A what?
yeah, exactly. Your
Yeah.
character was busted as fuck.
Bro, so many additives, and then stacking like Divine Smite on with what was it, Thunderous Smite?
Yeah.
And just kneecapping that like treant.
Yeah, no, that was glorious. That was God.
You hated me.
No, I honestly, I was happy for you when that happened. Like, as much as I hated the fact that you had basically created
One shot a boss.
you one shot a boss, but I was also like, I'm going to use this against you because I've been doing it the whole time, and then you just kept doing it because I'm like, I made a one shot with our characters from our first campaign. Dominic's character Tolgor was a Dragonborn paladin that had lost an arm.
And
We're not getting
replaced it with my mace.
and replaced it with his magical mace.
So
Then
you did what's
Guts, pulled the guts,
it? Okay.
but instead of a hand, it's just a weapon that can also be swapped out for a hand.
Yeah.
But- or
I,
no,
I
it's
had
a-
a separate gauntlet that attached.
Or
as a hand
I guess you could
instead.
say a less technological version of Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about it. What was it?
Ash. Let's
Yeah,
throw
Ash.
Oh no, that's how I lost my hand. Is because of that.
And that was because our DM at the time really liked Evil
I see
Dead.
a coincidence right
Literally,
now.
literally exactly Evil Dead.
He literally did a one shot that was Evil Dead, and that's what made him lose his hand because I stabbed his evil hand and then it disintegrated. And anyways,
I did everything I could to keep the hand, even
And-
while it was
and then-
killing me.
and
And
then-
then the DM essentially said, "No, you're losing this," and then just
like,
disintegrated.
I want this
my
to happen
hand.
because this is my canon. I want. And I'm like, oh, bro. Anyways.
You also
Anyway.
got fingered by a skeleton.
Yeah,
Oh, what?
exactly. Yeah, I got fingered by a skeleton. My wife got molested by a really ropey tree. Her character
Let's
got.
not to mention Tolgor got kidnapped by the Drider and then
And
strung
almost
up on
got-
the wood and almost had
Okay.
spider sacks injected it down his throat.
That was
So
not sex.
That,
That was not.
That's
There was no consent in that.
That sounded like
That was a surprise snuggle struggle.
I tried to grapple it because
Popping again.
I
We're
lost
getting
my.
popping again. I don't know something. Anyways.
Anyways.
Yeah, shake the demons and the wires out.
Anyways, it essentially was my character trying to one-arm grapple this Strider out of just panic and like desperation, and then I kept not succeeding, and I tried it like 3 turns in a row, and then the Strider took it as a compliment, thought I was trying to
The
like
DM
get with
decided
it.
that because you kept failing, that I'm gonna make this worse for you, which I
and then
and-
picked me up
and chose
and
that.
decided
oh,
that it wanted to make love with me, thinking I was making advances on it, and then its making love
was
was,
turning
let
you-
me fill you full of spiders.
yeah, fill you full of spider eggs, which
Luckily,
God,
I
that's
rolled
gross.
better when it was trying to do that.
Yeah,
It
you
sounded
rolled
like
you rolled against not. Well,
Yeah.
anyways,
Tolor
really did-
definitely could have died.
yeah, the reason why is because he was probably using acrobatics, and a spider has really good acrobatics.
Yeah.
But
It was rough.
yeah, I felt so bad. But I'm like, I'm gonna grapple. I'm like, bro, just attack it. Just attack it. Breathe fire. Do something.
Tolgor's main arm was his right hand, and
was gone.
that's what he lost. So he was just like, I don't know
You
what
gotta
to
stump. You gotta stump. There ain't a hand getting in the way. You can hit harder. Just use that stump, baby.
do. Which
Anyways.
is why I just attached a mace to it and said, fine, I'm just going to punch you a lot.
Anyways, you kept your whole thing was you would like dump a level 1 spell slot into smite, and I'm like, okay, he just likes one-shotting everything. I'm gonna make it a problem for him and the whole party. So every enemy there was infected with black crystals that were full of necrotic energy. Every time he attacked one of the freaking creatures, he would use radiant with his divine smite. So I'm like, all right, it's dead. It immediately erupts with necrotic energy, and you would everybody in the 20-foot radius would have to make a dex save. what was funny is I was going to make this like a cacophony effect, like where it would just be
Yeah.
one explosion, and they all explode in a line of death. And then it didn't work, but
Everybody else it worked against. It didn't work against Cold War.
But what pissed me off is then you continued and did the same thing in the next one. I'm like, okay, you're not getting this. I'm going to keep doing it, but you're clearly not understanding that these are going to explode if you keep smiting everything. And then you did it to the last one, and you dropped the level 3 smite and some other shit on it. And I'm like, okay. And it had 1 HP left because my wife, Shelby, decided to cast Fireball on it, and it, like, since it's a tree, it's part tree, which means it's vulnerable to fire. It took, like, a ton of damage.
When it was already critically wounded.
It had physically had 1 HP left. It was just in shambles, crispy. Basically, the only thing standing in it was the giant crystal jutting out of its back, like a giant cragged spine. And then you run up to it and you crit. That's also what was insane. You crit, and I'm like,
had 2 smites stacked on.
And you had 2 smites stacked, and you were just dumped the clip essentially.
Yep.
And you did like 600 damage because you also did
that much.
No, it was over 600 damage because it was also vulnerable to radiant damage, because that's why I did it. I'm like, okay, they're vulnerable to radiant damage, but they explode if you kill them with radiant damage. This wasn't just a little human infected with it. It was a giant treant. So I'm like, everything else has been like 2d10 on a save. It's whatever. This thing I was like, nah, y'all taking like 10d6. Hold your ass. It's going down swinging, and yeah, you made it. Everybody made it.
Still shrugged it off.
You still shrugged it off because you're a freaking tank.
Tolgor was broken.
No.
It didn't even happen intentionally.
But no, I was so happy because you got the finishing blow, even though my wife tried to nuke it. And I'm like, it has 1 HP. I did the math. It had 1 HP because I liked doing the math. It made me feel good. Math made me feel good at the time. Now it don't. Math made me make me angry.
Math hard.
Math make angry. Me no like angry. Me no like math.
Math is not math. Don't do it, folks. All right, we got one more before we wrap up.
Flame arrow.
Is it blame arrow?
I'm gonna blame you every single time.
You just shoot somebody with it, and everybody points the fingers. It was him. What did I do? I don't know.
That's like also the perfect thing for like a murder mystery. If you want to be a murderer, blame arrow. It's invisible. You shoot it, and it hits somebody, and psychologically, everyone will immediately start blaming that person. It's like a mind effect thing. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
It will work out with a ranger too, because not a fighter, because they got a magic arrow. Because magic arrow with a curving
combat
shot.
Utility.
Yes.
Combat utility
is a beautiful thing.
Not combat utility. You could shoot an enemy. No. Yeah, you could shoot either an enemy or an ally with it, and it adjusts aggro.
Yeah.
Which means you can force your teammates to focus on an enemy, or you could force the enemies to focus on a teammate.
You can do that. So it's essentially every creature, except friendlies, or maybe just every creature, in a set radius around. The way it would work is I would say it would hit the target. Everything in a 30-foot radius around the target needs to make a will save or wisdom save, or it immediately is angered in aggro. Yeah. It immediately aggroes to that target. So it's basically just
frenzy arrow.
Basically, it's a frenzy arrow, except instead of making everything attack everything else, everything attacks the one thing, which is hilarious because you could just shoot a boss with that and suddenly it's
minions would attack it.
Like when we fought that giant spider, all of its babies would have turned on it and started biting the mom. That's hilarious. Like I'm a boss that spawns minions.
It didn't spawn minions though.
Well, you know what I mean though. You know what I mean though. Like there's always that boss that's just annoying because it's like move really.
That boss, that one boss that keeps resurrection.
Oh. Okay, that was first of all that was a demon. That's not like a boss. That's just a elite that can.
Look, on the bright side,
fuck you.
You didn't get touched by those ghouls.
He got pecked to death.
Okay.
That was a different thing.
Abyssal chickens were separate from the demon.
Yeah.
I also didn't.
I got touched.
Bro,
I got touched.
It was a chunk of your leg, okay?
You took like 6 points of damage. Whoop-de-doo. My wife was walking out of there with 5 hit points of the 72 she had. You're fine.
If it wasn't for Zana,
She would have been dead.
She would have been dead.
I know, but the fact is that you're complaining about 6 points of damage when my wife was staying there absorbing like 3 crits. She
has
absorbed
more
3
health
crits.
Sana doesn't like to be touched.
She has.
Okay, get the fuck over it. Everybody gets touched
That's why
eventually.
Sana's a fighter that uses a bow.
Okay, you're a fucking ranged character. You have no HP or AC. You just do damage at distance.
Yes.
It's your fault for being in a freaking place you're not supposed to be anyways. Dude,
It was
you don't-
scouting, and then
my
there was a
brother
hole
in
the
Christ,
ceiling.
you scout in open areas. You don't scout rooms. This isn't CQC Rainbow Six Siege. This is D&D. You go, I'm going to scout the corner. Someone's going to grab you around that corner and pull you into that room with 6 other things and beat you to death. You don't scout like that. You go, you do
Stealth is
real life.
nice. Sana's very good at
no.
stealth.
You do D&D room clearing is like real life room clearing. You don't go,
No,
let
it's
me check
worse.
the corner. It's pull the pin, throw a grenade in there, and you hope whoever's in there dies. You don't give a shit if there was a group of freaking preschoolers or a band of terrorists in there.
That depends on your mission. If you're there to rescue the survivors of something, you definitely don't want to clear with explosives.
But the
Fireball!
point is that is how you clear rooms. You don't go, what's in this room? Oh, lean into the room. You go, I don't know what's in this room.
David,
Clear it.
David, you're talking to a military veteran about how to clear rooms.
Yeah.
It's
so
ingrained in his bones.
So why did you choose to do that when you know you're playing a character that shouldn't be even? You're in the area of effect of line
Maybe
of
she was
sight.
Stealth Force.
You are
I'm not Space Force.
I
my
said Stealth Force.
Okay.
my brother in Christ. You are a fighter, not a rogue. You have good decks. You have proficiency in stealth. The
No,
rogue has
no.
double proficiency. They have
He
expertise.
wasn't there.
Still doesn't matter.
He was
Even
outside.
if the rogue wasn't there, you shouldn't try to act like a rogue.
It's funny because the rogue acts like a fighter and the fighter acts like a rogue. It's very...
Yeah, it's very annoying. It's
very
as
confusing.
somebody who understands how to properly use these classes to their absolute fullest intent, it frustrates the
Doesn't
shit
matter
out
how
of me.
you use them.
I
Look
know.
At Draylon. Draylon was a fighter.
Yeah, and but that was also a lot of dumb luck, followed by like bullshit from that campaign that gave you like a
Draylon was
stupid
OP.
shit. And I felt so bad when you like took all of that and then went like, oh, I'm gonna go Rune Knight. I'm like, what the fuck are you high on? You had the perfect setup, but you went into something else.
The Rune Knight was great because
The
throwing the runes on stuff and then being able to shoot somebody and put fiery handcuffs on them.
The fiery handcuffs thing didn't work because you're like a boss melter, and that shit doesn't work on bosses. It does
Yes,
work on little
but it
guys.
was great for utility. But the majority of the Rune Knight stuff, you put multiple runes on, and you put it on your equipment, and they have passive bonuses.
Yeah.
Those passive bonuses
Are awesome.
drove me through the roof.
Yeah, no, those are great.
I think one of the
I love-
bonuses I had was literally I could have clairvoyance, where I just got an
Yeah.
extra like +2 on like every roll.
Clairvoyance wasn't that. It's you could ask like questions and the DM had to answer, but the
I had
point is
something that
that
added to my
the
rolls.
only good part about that Rune Knight shit was the fact that you could just get a billion passive buffs, put them on all your shit. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
That's
not
what
bad.
I did. And Draylon was such a like a
But
very utility character
that is
just
the,
having
but
passive
it's the
buffs was-
weirdest fighter class because it has really top tier out of combat utility stuff,
Uh-huh.
but all of the combat stuff that you should be able to use is nowhere near as powerful.
No, but it didn't need to be.
No, it didn't need to be, but it
Which
should
is
have
why
been.
it was the greatest combo with Draylon.
Yeah.
God.
Bro, that's
I miss my elf.
see, that's the thing of like you have a character that's has equipment that makes it so powerful you can do the funny build and still be viable.
It
That-
wasn't just the equipment. The
No,
only thing that was
no,
crazy
your
was the,
equipment was bad
the
shit.
bow, and then I was
have
building
flying
on
boots.
that armor forever.
My brother
I
in Christ.
did get the flying boots. That made it
My
great.
brother in Christ.
And then
you
I had
had
a shield, so I had decent AC too.
You had the bow that every ranger wants because they want to be that
Because
guy.
it's the only magic bow in the entire
A game that's actually usable and effective. Yes.
No, literally the only one in like the entire game.
Yeah, I still.
Unless you have a +1, 2, or 3 bow,
But
it
who
was
gives a shit
literally the
about that?
only like magical item. that
magical
took
item
off.
with aspects and abilities. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly.
It was great.
And that's that one item lets you just go funny mode. Go, I'm gonna do the funny thing instead of min-maxing.
Well, no, it also it's
And you're
because
still viable.
Draylon was a craftsman with
Yeah.
extremely high wisdom, which allowed me to just do crazy shit. Remember when I rigged up? We were in the fort and we were down in the cave, and I rigged the entire barracks door and that entire hallway with traps and assorted items, and then just chucked like a grenade in there, and then just walked out and just watched the folly of people rushing down that hallway and just dropped all of them.
Yeah.
It was the creativity of that character that
yeah, you had great creativity. I'm just saying, like, that subclass is so bizarre to me because it was like the most weird shit I've ever seen. Because it's like a weaker.
It was definitely weird.
It's like I'm gonna give you some really cool passive buffs that are awesome for out of combat shit, or just like prep time shit for combat.
Yeah, but your combat stuff is gonna be
garbage. It wasn't mid. It was garbage.
Depends on what level you are.
But that's the thing. You shouldn't have to, as a fighter.
Yeah.
Your whole thing is about instant gratification damage right now. Going, I have to wait for this to slow cook for the next 10 levels is kind of stupid.
No one's talking to you, fake rogue.
That's.
You know what? I feel the fighter. I do, because now
fighter is fun.
Don't get me wrong, it's fun, but even for my fighter, it don't really come on the level because once I
that's the thing though. Everybody thinks, oh, fighters just fight real good. Fighters are just fighters. No, like, bro.
All his fighter has done has been a utility.
Yeah. And that's how I'm building.
Slight DPS.
You are a great DPS.
When he wants to be.
No.
Yeah, you have consistent damage. That's what
consistent, but not just a lot.
Yeah.
No, but when everybody else like me, who is I am peak DPS of that, I am burst DPS like a rogue. The problem is I have a set time limit on how much I can do because I have spell slots. You are consistent damage that doesn't stop. That is better in the long run of D&D than me because I go, and my load's gone.
Which is also why the utility factor plays in and
and that makes it even better.
Zana's so much
The other thing is that as a cleric, all of my utility shit through my god runs out eventually because the god's like, all right, I've helped you enough for this week. Can you wait 7 days?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
No, some of my strongest utility shit that I'll get later, basically use it once a week, and you hope it's actually useful because the god doesn't actually have to tell you directly. They can just be like, where do I need to go? Follow the brook, follow the water. When you hear the quietest running water, you will be where you need to be, and you're like in the middle of like a freaking like swamp.
Yeah.
Follow the quietest water.
Follow the spot of the quietest water trickle that you can find. It's like, bro, I'm in the middle of a goddamn swamp. Everything's freaking quiet or loud. What? Point is like it's bullshit like that. The only good thing about it is like that's why I'm planning on being a cleric.
You are
also a barbarian.
But anyway,
because God's chosen warrior.
The only reason I don't like when I say I don't like my fighter as damage is because for one I got as of right now 2 things of special arrows, seeking arrow and gasping arrow.
Yeah,
but I don't only get
2 uses. No matter how many different arrows you get, you only get 2 uses.
But here's the caveat to that though. You can get that back on a short rest.
Correct.
That fast.
Yes.
But I have to wait.
But
for all my
for me,
for a long rest.
For me, I basically have to pick and choose. Once I use it, I don't have it for the rest of the fight.
Okay, that's a fight. You can still at least do good damage. It does
have small additives to damage, but it's mostly like different utility stuff.
Yeah, that's it. No, and that's good. The problem is that as a cleric, all of my attacks can't, because I have to rely on 2 things as a cleric if I run out of spells. Cantrips, which, by the way, the damaging cantrips for clerics are ass. Like, it's all, make a wisdom saving throw or make a dex save, and everything has high wisdom or high dex because those are the 2 most common saving throws, so the game developers made all of them stupid high or strong. So, like, why the fuck would I do that? But no, man, your character is fucking magical and awesome, and I was like, the only thing you're missing is the utility of a artificer. Because, bro, you have that built in. You're the coolest artificer ever, because most artificers like, I wear fancy armor that's like magical with runes on it, or I have a really cool weapon I tricked out. You're like, bro, my goddamn arm
is my weapon.
It's magic. It's metallic.
Shouldn't have blown your fingers off.
Hey.
You should have done it sooner. I rebuked that by saying you should have done it sooner so you could get a cooler arm faster. Because apparently we got magic cyberpunk going on in this universe, and I love it.
Look, man,
No.
Gnomes be doing shit.
Hey,
Gnomes be doing a lot of shit, but bro,
I either blow shit up, kill shit, or try and get thrown in jail.
bro, my original design
You've blown
for
up every time you've blown up something else.
so one of my other characters.
Or turn to a wolf, too.
That's your cursed armor. That's your own fault.
I love it, though.
You're a furry. It's okay.
Hey, I use it.
He's not
Ah,
a furry.
kill-
Use the shit out of
Okay,
it.
so
Yes,
I
do.
wouldn't say he's a furry. He's just a guy trapped in a fursuit. He's
No.
He's literally trapped forever. He can't take it off.
I
No.
can, but I don't want to.
bro.
You literally can't.
My original
I can feel
in-head
cursed.
design
Yeah.
for Hagrid was going to be missing an arm, and it was going to be magical. And I was going to like talk with Elijah about, hey, can I upgrade it, like do this thing? But I'm like, nah, I'm just going to have him missing an eye. But it was going to be basically the same thing of just a magic synthetic like
So
arm.
we're gonna wrap up. Since I'm the only one who had reviews, is it okay to say I won that?
Yeah, you won that. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I did pretty good with that modify memory, but whatever.
To be fair, that discussion was had before it even started.
But still,
I don't give a shit.
Look, okay, I put the work in at least.
it's
nope.
still your house.
You know,
True. Get the fuck
Ah.
out. No.
No, you say get the fuck out. Ah.
no.
But so yeah, I wonder what item we should do next.
Flip a coin.
Oh,
Dude, there's nothing like. I'm gonna be honest. There.
what if we do? Remember that cloak I was looking at for Draylon, the one that can see everything around it. It's got the eyes all over it. Do you remember that one?
A what?
Hold on, I gotta
A
look this
what?
up real quick.
It's like a
literal
alert,
cloak that's
cloak of
completely
alertness or something.
covered in eyes.
That sounds like some Naruto bullshit
No,
now.
it's like basically it's a sentient cloak with eyes that you can like. It basically makes it to where you have the feet alert without having to take the feet alert. That's what a lot of these like utility like items like. Oh, I have a helmet of alertness or spear of alertness or bow of alertness, which he got later with his character.
Yeah, it's literally just
Draylon.
called Robe of Eyes. That might be a fun one.
It's basically gives you the feat alert, which is just I can't be surprised. I got +5 initiative instead of being +5. It's +3.
Would that include can't be
No, here's the description.
Can't
of
be
it, right?
what?
backstab?
No, you can be sneak attacked. It's just like
This
you.
robe is adorned with eye-like patterns. While you wear the robe, you gain the following benefits. The robe lets you see in all directions, and you have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. You have dark vision out to a range of 120 feet. You can see invisible creatures and objects, as well as see into the ethereal plane out to a range of 120 feet. The eyes on the robe can't be closed or averted. Although you can close or avert your own eyes, you are never considered to be doing so while wearing this robe. A light spell cast on the robe or a daylight spell cast within 5 feet of the robe causes you to be blinded for 1 minute. At the end of each of your turns, you can make a Constitution saving throw, ending the blindness on a success.
This just turns you into a 3D camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That just turns you into a 3D
you
camera.
see everything and you can't not see anything.
Yeah, it's just everything.
So basically, you
around
got
you.
it is like
Like you literally see into
Yeah.
like a plane of existence where ghosts and shit are
Yeah,
too. Like
well,
you
no-
literally see everything
okay,
within
so-
120 feet, no matter how dark.
The you said the what plane could it see into
The ethereal.
ethereal is not like ghosts. The ethereal is like being able to see into like the astral plane shit.
The ethereal
I thought
plane,
it
isn't
was.
that in between the astral and
Oh, that's
Okay.
the between,
Yeah.
but that's not where like souls and like ghouls and stuff like that go.
depends what's there.
No, seriously, that's not where that goes. That's like
Well,
technically those
no,
are trapped beings.
Well, no, because there's several spells and other creatures that can bounce in and out of the ethereal plane.
the Fae. I know
It's
the
literally
Fae
the
does.
in between that they dance in and out of to kind of just fuck with you.
Yeah, the Fae does
It's,
it.
it's mostly like fey creatures, but yeah, it's. Bro, can you just take those fucking ears off? It's been.
I totally forgot.
I forgot he was
I
wearing
mean,
cat
I'm like,
ears.
I have to like. Yeah, thank you. Christ.
The Robe of Ice might be fun. That might be. Oh.
Because it.
Oh, I got plenty to talk about because just for stat buffs of that freaking thing. It's
If we're
The
gonna-
Robe of Eyes.
yeah,
we're gonna do
what
Robe
you
of
just
Eyes?
what you
Okay.
just read off
So-
was like so much freaking potential for bullshit because I found out how perception checks and shit really work.
So we're
And
all
how passive
good.
perception
So we're all
works.
good for the Robe of Eyes.
Robots.
Robe of Eyes.
All right. So then that's what we'll be planning for next.
I'm gonna pull
episode.
some Naruto's bullshit out.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast fairy lights on the robe. Oh no!
Two things already popped out to me is the fact that you have automatic perception check advantage, and you cannot, even if you're like sleeping with your eyes closed, you can still see.
Yes, you see everything.
Well, for sight-based perception passive checks or passive perception, when you have advantage, that's an automatic plus 10. If you have advantage on perception checks, that's automatic plus 10.
So you're passive?
Yes.
Jesus fuck.
So for the record,
So
for
basically,
all
you can't get snuck on. You can't get.
for everybody at home
They'd have to be outside of 120 feet.
in the
It
dark.
can't be. No,
No,
you got dark vision.
No, it's got 100% dark vision up to 120 feet, which means it could be pitch black and you see
No,
clearly for
that's-
120 feet around you.
That's what I'm saying though. But in daylight or in lit areas, you can see as far as you want to. But what I'm going to get to is for everyone at home, how passive perception is. The mathematical equation for passive perception is as follows: 10 plus your perception score modifier. That's it. Unless, of course, you took the feat observant, which allows you to add another plus 5.
Yeah.
When you take that, if you were to equip this, whenever you have advantage on perception, and I found this out is like it's an older rule, but it still counts as a rule for D&D. While you have advantage on perception checks, you add plus 10 to your passive perception, which means like if you take like enhance ability and you give yourselves Owl's Wisdom for that hour that's active, you have 20. Essentially, you would have at least 20 passive perception.
So somebody got to get at least 25 or
So
more.
let me explain how that can be cracked. You could be a rogue with expertise in perception, having a total of 19 as your perception roll at level 20. Then to top that off, you have plus 10, so it would be 10 plus 10 for 20, plus 19 for 39, and that's if you don't have any other additives like observant. So now it would be 44 passive perception.
Or a weapon of alertness.
Does that also add your perception?
I believe so.
Then that's even more cracked.
What about the cantrip alert or the spell?
Alert.
Yeah.
I don't.
You mean alarm? That's a first level
Yeah,
spell.
alert. Yeah, alarm.
So alarm is not boosts your perception. That is, you essentially create a barrier of like 10 feet, which a lot of wizards, instead of taking Leomund's Tiny Hunt at 3rd level, up until that point will take alarm at 1st level, and you basically wrap a certain set of area in a.
So basically a string strap. More.
Yeah, because you have the way it requires 2 things for casting a spell, which technically, if you have requires a bell and silver string. Essentially, you place a bell in midair and it floats, and then you tie the string to it and you place it around you in a set area, and then they use it. And that entire area, if anything that you so choose enters past that, or that you have like said is like, oh, this person, this character, this creature can pass through. The alarm goes off, alerts you, and wakes you up instantly.
Yeah.
Which does suck because then the DM can be a dick. Well, a bee flies through it and it goes off, and then you get woken up in the middle of goddamn night for no reason, and you
then
lose your long
rest.
song save, long rest, which is like.
But
And then
there's
you have
also because I believe weapon of alert, it's a
does the same
enchantment
thing.
essentially you can get on it, and it does the same thing where like if someone tries to attack you or something, the weapon wakes you up and it
And
alerts
you
and
also
everything.
have.
But I think it might also give you a +2 to your passive, but I'm not sure.
If I remember correctly, weapons of alert weapons
Yeah.
specifically are basically the same thing as taking the feat alert.
Yeah.
They don't give you passive perception increases or perception increases. What they do is they give you a plus to your initiative,
I know there was
and you cannot be surprised.
I know there was one item that increased it, but I don't know.
Something crazy probably because
It might be a ring, but that's besides the point. Either way,
no,
so we have what we're doing.
Yep.
The Robe of Eyes is definitely going to be the next episode. So
okay.
I'd say we wrap up.
This has been Fantasy in Review.
And if you want to find myself, I have a YouTube channel at Plagued Crow. If if you want to find me on Twitch, it's plagued_crow. I also have a Twitter that I believe is also plagued_crow. DeMarcus, do you want to?
Well, my YouTube is DDX9112. Granted, it was an old one, so
I mean, you claim that you're going to get back into it with
Yeah.
me, so we'll see. There might be something on there if you want to follow DeMarcus.
At least you weren't like me and made your like YouTube account that was like you just used to look up dumb bullshit as you're like, I'm gonna make this into a YouTube channel, and suddenly you're like, oh, that has my name on it. Oh, I'll add something else instead, and then you put a goddamn gamer tag on there that looks stupid as hell.
then my Twitch is Soul Deadman 9112. So find me there. Find me there.
Say, what was it again?
Soul Deadman.
Okay, Soul Deadman. All right, cool.
So
All right.
And if you want to find me, come and find me, fucker. I'm on the street. Do it. Do it, bitch. I'm out there. I'm out there in the street. I dare you. Find me by my voice. Listen for me.
God.
I'm always there. I'm waiting.
Listening,
I'm
watching.
waiting.
Oh man, the static started again. Oh god, the demons are coming.
I'm here. Fight me.
He's coming through the wire.
I'm in the wire. I can hear it.
Well, there's not actually a person sitting here. He's literally coming through the wire. I've just been talking to dead people.
I see
And-
people.
All
and
right.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Hit the button. Hit the button. End it. End it. End it.